Good evening. I'm calling the Amherst County Board of Supervisors Budget Workshop to order. The date is March 3rd, 2026. The time is 4:17 p.m. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Motion on the floor by Mr. Adams. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I vote aye. I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Bryant and Ms. Morgan.
Thank you, sir. Again, I want to thank all the department heads and agencies, constitutionals, for being here today to help support this budget and to be part of this budget. We've had a lot of meetings over the last month, but even before that, as I mentioned to you last time, the budget process really starts in the fall. So we've spent a lot of time on this from a staff level, and we'll continue to. I will ask that we make a small adjustment on this agenda to move that tax rate item B to D. So if we can switch that and talk about that at the very end. Is that okay with the board?
Board, is that okay?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. From a high level, Ms. Morgan is going to go over each of these items with you. Specifically, we wanted to go over the revenues with you, let you see them one more time. We presented them to you at your last meeting. We want to go over the revenues with you. That will be those will be the numbers we'll work from and start with in terms of building a budget from. And then we want to go over the CIP and position requests. What we want to hear from you are things that you want funded, things that you want to see us build into this budget. And then we can briefly talk about the O&M budget. Each department head, agency, and constitutionals are here today, so if there's any specific questions you would like to ask of them, they're here at your pleasure to answer those specific budget questions for you. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Morgan and allow her to present some information to you.
Good evening, everyone. Before I get started on the revenues, I do want to do a quick recap from last meeting. We now have a total expense budget of just over $73 million. I found an error in my last calculation, so that number has increased to just over $73 million. That $73 million total does include CIP requests of over $4 million. 33 new position requests totaling almost $3 million, and almost $450,000 in equipment requests if all of those 33 positions are approved. This budget does include a $500,000 contingency budget, and it also includes $5.3 million in debt service, and $500,000 of that does include a new proposed fire and EMS building at the Amelon Commerce Center. Right now, this budget does include a 3% raise totaling $550,000, and if you choose to give a 2.5% or 2% raise, those numbers that would increase by are also included on the slide. Based on all of that recap information, I'm going to go ahead to the proposed revenues. This is what I presented to you last meeting. You can see that the proposed revenues did go down for FY27 compared to the proposed revenues for FY26. I explained in the previous presentation that I took the personal property revenue proposal down by $250,000. I also decreased the local sales and use tax by $500,000. For FY26, the state did estimate that Amherst County would receive 5.1, so that number was accurate based on a document that was on the state website. However, my recommendation is to drop that because, as you can see, halfway through the year, we were not even halfway to that amount. So I recommend dropping that proposed revenue down by a little over $500,000. Other taxes I also recommended to drop. Those other taxes included meals and beverage taxes, as well as cigarette taxes and lodging taxes. As you can see, halfway through the year, we are not halfway to the proposed FY26 recommended budget. And another big decrease that I'm recommending drop is the state funding. I do believe what happened with that is I found that there was federal revenue that was posted in a DSS state line item that may have made it look like that state line item was over, we were going to exceed what we had expected in that state line item, but that's not correct, and I need to move it. So that probably indicated that it may have increased this year, but it did not. So we need to drop the state revenue funding by $500,000 to get in line to what we're getting from DSS state reimbursement and federal reimbursement. Another big decrease at the bottom is, you can see, we're dropping $1 million. This is not actual revenue coming in. A lot of this was from the general fund reserve and other funds. We were doing transfers to cover capital expenditures for the year. I'm not recommending we take anything from the general reserve at this time. The 116 that is proposed in that revenue line item is actually coming from an E911 fund to fund a couple of dispatch positions. If there are any questions on the revenues that I am proposing.
So, Ms. Morgan, the state estimate of 5.13, that's local sales and use taxes?
The local,
That's what they said they were going to.
this. So there is a document on the state website dated March 20th of 25, I do believe, that estimated that Amherst County would receive that for FY '26. However, like I said, halfway through the year, we're not even halfway there. There was also other wording that said that due to the COVID stimulus and funding having been expended, that spending seems to be dropping off throughout the economy,
Okay.
which could also explain the decreases in our meals and beverage and cigarette and lodging tax as well.
I have a follow-up on that. So the state actually gave a number?
There's a document on the
So
state
do
website.
they-
Yes, sir.
They will do that again this year?
I'm waiting to see if I can find it. I have not found it as of today. The last year's letter was dated March 20th, and the letter before that in 2024 was dated around March 20th as well. So that, as of today, had not been posted that I could find.
Okay. Any other questions on revenue? You have a question, Mr. Brown?
I don't have a question, I just want to make a statement. We don't need a formal motion from you. We wanted you to hear this, understand it, and if you accept it, move forward with consensus, or consent is fine, but we wanted to make sure you were comfortable with it.
Well, I don't have any reason to say you're wrong. I mean, to me, it seems like you are much more conservative than maybe prior staff was in your projections, which may be why we are at where we are today. So thank you for that. Oh, I do have, so on the lodging,
Yes.
we've approved a lot of Airbnbs. Are they remitting their lodging tax?
I am not the one to ask that. I'm sure they are. That would be more of a Jane and Joanne question, and they can probably explain that process better than I can.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
if a homeowner rents through Airbnb, VRBO, a platform such as that, taxes are automatically taken out before they get any monies, and they are automatically sent to the Commissioner of Revenue. Now, having said that, those that are privately owned, I got a suspicion there's a lot of that under the table.
Not that you don't have enough to do, but can we look into that?
Yes, sir, we have followed up with the Commissioner of Revenue on that, and she has reported that that money is coming in, but I will follow back up.
All right, so, Mr. Chair, if I may, on those same lines, I'm assuming that they have a mechanism to track that, correct? That we're separating away from any other revenues to where we can monitor that income.
Oh, yes, sir. There's a separate line item.
Would that
So
go
what
just
you
into
see on
lodging?
this spreadsheet as other local taxes is actually a sum of those three items. But on my side for the detail, I see the breakdown of meals and beverage, lodging tax, cigarette tax.
I guess I'm getting in the weeds on this a little bit, but I think I'm more specifically asking about directly from Airbnb, VRBO, any of those platforms. When we see those deposits come in, we should be able to see, there should be a distinction to be able to track that money, correct?
As
Where it's
far-
not coming in from
I would think it would just go right into your lodging tax.
So
Well,
I know from
agreed.
previous experience, we would get a report every month for the town along with the check. Unfortunately, that report did not list the Airbnbs that it was being remitted for.
Okay.
It's my understanding that the state has started to try to do a report, but I have not personally seen one of those. And like I said, that's no longer part of my duties here, so I wouldn't see that report.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah,
ma'am.
and Mr. Adams, what they do is they submit what they collected for the month in a lump sum to the locality. They do not break it down by ownership.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, right. I get that part.
You can't go to that and figure out who's paying and who's not.
Okay, all right, fair enough. No further.
Well, I doubt it's $5 million anyway.
No, absolutely not.
I had a question. You had asked for a consensus that we all agreed with this. Why did you ask that, Mr. Bryant?
Well, we always ask that. We want to make sure that you're comfortable with these numbers and you understand these numbers, because we're building a budget around revenues.
Well, my comment on that is and I'm going to follow suit with what Mr. Martin just said. I respect, as I stated at the last budget workshop, I respect her and your approach to this. I would a whole lot rather be conservative and we end up on the plus side compared to what we've done previously. So, thank you for that.
Thank you.
I'm good with this. Oh, I mean, I'm not good with this, but you know what I mean.
Okay, but, well, I'll just ask a question. So you got real property taxes, which is what everybody's interested in, right?
So that amount on this
Fiscal year was-
spreadsheet is based on an equalization rate. The only increase that I have included, that where you see the 90,000, that was an estimate on what we may receive from the Amazon facility. But that revenue total is based on an equalization rate for the real property taxes.
At 39 cents, is
Yes,
what
sir.
you're saying.
Yes, sir.
So here's the thing we've got to get to. This is crux to me. Last year, revenues, we had $60,312,831.
That was the projected for the budget. Yes, sir.
Projected. That's what we base our budget on.
Yes,
right?
sir.
And this year, at equalization, we've got $57,746,399,
Yes, sir.
which is roughly
$2.5 million.
$2.5
A half million
million.
short.
$2.5
but-
million short.
Yes, but like I said, if you look, 1.1 million of that came from the reserve funds and other funds to cover the capital items that were purchased last year. So in reality, the total revenues brought in were not really the 60 million. They were more along, what is that, like 68.9? Maybe 68.9?
How do you
You mean
get
58.9?
58.9, sorry,
Well,
58.9.
so
Because see, this is not real revenue coming in. This was just put up here as a plug because it came out of the general
Yeah,
fund
but
reserve. Yeah.
But we used that money to plug the budget.
Correct.
Which we probably shouldn't have done.
Correct, and I'm not proposing that this year.
But my point is we're $2.5 million in the hole, and we haven't done anything.
Correct.
Really?
Just to
Three and a half.
maintain, well, just to maintain, we're already in the hole,
Yes, sir.
that equalization.
And this column right here for FY '25, this is the actual revenue that I pulled that we actually brought in FY '25. So I kind of wanted to point that out from FY '25 to what I'm proposing for FY '27. You can see it's right in line with what we actually received in FY '25, maybe $500,000 more, but
So FY '26, 60 million, blah, blah, blah. FY '27, you're projecting $57,746,399. Okay?
okay.
At 3.5.
Well, the reason I said 3.5, Mr. Martin, because I was factoring in that $1 million that we pulled from an unobligated general fund to balance the budget.
But just to get to.
But just to get whole,
Just to get whole
yeah,
is
it's 2.5.
2.5 million?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions, board? So we got a gap right now, we haven't done anything. That's no raises, no health insurance costs, no new positions, no anything.
And keep in mind that total added up to $73 million. everything together.
Oh, if we started adding things.
Yes. Yeah. This is just your revenues, what the projected revenues coming into us are. But your total expenses for the increase in raises, the health insurance, the O&M budgets, and all the capital items totaled over 73 million for your expense side.
Oh, well, yeah. My kids used to go to the store and ask for candy all the time. Get it? Okay. I got you.
Okay.
Any other questions on revenue? All right, moving on. Tax rate. No, we moved that to the end, correct?
So we want to go back up to the capital improvements right now. This changed a little bit from the last meeting. You all just approved the web platform that was originally in this document for $60,000, so I've taken that out. There was also an amount where the antennas are. I think it's 5 cells down where you see antennas. In the previous slide, that was 245,000, I believe, and I think Ms. Byer got updated totals on that, and it brought that total down to right at $100,000. So that request total went down, and then at the last meeting, this document did not include the total for Sheriff's Ayers camera, his body camera storage, and new equipment. So that's been added in here as well. So the total capital improvement request is almost 4.1 million.
And how much did we fund last year?
475 for a new ambulance, 495 for a new HVAC, and 200,000 for the reassessment. 1.1.
1.1 million.
Yes. We did get most rankings back on this. We wanted to kind of go over this again tonight to see if y'all wanted a bigger discussion on where y'all would like us to land. If you want to see us fund anything, if you do want to see us fund anything, what you would like to see us funded out of any of this, and what you absolutely would not like to see if that's a possibility.
Would it be possible to enlarge that a little bit?
Yes, thank you, Ms. Tucker.
I got you. I got you.
There you go. So where's 1.1 break on that list? Is that the black line?
The black line was right at 1.5, 1.6.
Okay, I'm going to take a privileged chair for a minute. Mr. Etter, I think you were the only one that didn't get to come speak to the board about your library stuff. Would you like to come forward and tell us about your rooms? It'd be very nice. 3 minutes, tops. That'd be great. Thank you.
Board, thank you for this opportunity. The library is proposing building quiet study rooms in the libraries. We have a local nonprofit group consisting of local citizens that have pledged $25,000 towards this project. We have people that come and use the library to study, to do sometimes conducting business, things like that. So this is something that is used in libraries of all different kinds throughout the nation. So it's something we feel is really important. This is more than just building a wall. This would be a soundproof room using acoustic technology, changing the HVAC system, things like that. And so it's not very much of a big expense compared to a lot of things. It's just $25,000. And your citizens have pledged half of that amount. And so it's something we feel is really important. Is there any questions that you had for me about that project?
I do. So it would be one in Amherst and one in Madison Heights, correct?
So there's two different proposals. The one, $25,000 would be for the Amherst one. We're only proposing that this year. We're proposing doing Madison Heights in a future year. It'd be for 2 rooms at Amherst. It
At
would be what?
$50,000.
$50,000, 25,000 of that pledged by the citizens, 25,000 from your budget.
But we have 50 in there that would be budgeted by us.
The way that it was explained to me is that that has been shown in revenue. I know that's confusing, and so
I got you. Okay.
that's why it's listed that way.
Any questions for Mr. Odom?
No.
No, but I have a comment. I just want the board to remember that there was a library board director that came here and spoke to us, and I'm not aware of any other agency that's made a request that's been kind of halfway matched by citizens. So just remember that, please.
Understood. Well, I appreciate the board giving me that latitude. I believe he was the only one that didn't get the opportunity to speak to us.
No, absolutely.
All right, thank you,
Yeah.
Mr. Odom.
Thank you, I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, so what are you looking for, Ms. Morgan?
Suggestions, input, what would you like to see? Things that you would definitely like to see.
But this doesn't reflect the rankings. That's not on there, right?
No, no, ma'am.
Will we ever get those?
We can.
We can send those out to you.
Well, that's fine, but I think what we need to discuss is how much we plan on paying for capital projects on this list next year. That black line is 1.5 million. And if that's, things might go up or down on that 1.5, but is that what we're looking to pay, or are we looking to pay 4.4? Because the budget changes drastically if you do that.
Well, I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I don't think we're gonna be able to make it to the 4.4.
Well, I agree.
So, I think we just need to go and knock that right off the books.
So do we want to try and,
Well, I wanted to address something that I'd asked you about, and I think we can talk to Chief Beam. But obviously, it's not a big number, but we can eliminate it as long as we're in agreement to project number 9 at the fire training facility.
well, Chief Bean?
So where everybody understands what I pitched to,
Oh, I
Martin.
know where you're going.
yeah,
So, but just as a reminder, you're going to be taking in some apparatus to use for training.
Yes, sir.
And the command trailer,
Yes, sir.
all this nice equipment, and you don't have anywhere to put it.
Yes, sir.
That's what that's for.
correct.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And your idea was to do that,
Or the ATL
was
funds.
it ATL or the,
ESC capital.
Oh, I'm
fund.
sorry, yeah, I'm sorry, I keep getting them mixed up. Yeah, ESC
I
funds.
got you. Okay.
Which we have a rolling balance in.
Yes, sir.
And that could be, that's a different discussion.
Right.
Yeah, but I.
But after we funded the generator, which was needed
Yeah.
at Amherst Fire Station, again, I still feel like from the ESC side of it, the departments need to budget appropriately, just like we're having to do right now for the county. And I
Okay.
think this will be a good way to take this off of us and use the funds that are already in an account.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Thank you, Chief Bean.
Would you like me to take that back to Emergency Service Council at their next meeting for discussion, or,
When is your next?
in, I think, 2 weeks, sir?
Well, you bring it back to us anyway.
Yes, sir. We'll come back to you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
So, we funded 1.1 last year. We need to give them a number this year, and then if we come back and say it's 1.5, which is about where that line is, that doesn't mean we can't move things up or down on that list, right? It's just a dollar amount of how much we're looking to fund this year. Correct? So what is y'all's thoughts?
What is 1 penny? I just want to know in terms of revenue, 1 penny
One
is.
penny was 405,000.
Is that at the equalized rate or the current?
That's after the reassessment. One penny went up. Before the reassessment, a penny was equal to about 255,000, and now a penny is worth 405,000.
You raise it above yeah.
Well, at
60
any rate, one penny would be.
Okay, I
yeah,
got you, I got
One
you.
penny is
Yeah,
worth 405,000.
So,
Once, at any rate, I got you. 405?
Yes, sir.
so that would be probably 3 pennies would get you 1.2. 4 pennies just on your capital.
All right,
All right, so something changed.
So Ms. Fire asked for the web platform tonight, so I took
No,
this.
no, so item 12 is showing comprehensive plan, but it says update Axon body camera. Shouldn't that be down on the line below that?
Yeah, that's supposed to be right here.
Okay.
Sorry.
And then, okay, all right, I see what's going on now.
Say that again, Mr. Adams.
So item 12 in the red, third item in the red for comprehensive plan,
Right.
that's 275. So while we're there, Mr. Bryant, I understand that we have no choice in the comprehensive plan, correct? By what we're mandated by state code?
We have to, we're at a, we wrote it in 2007. Every 5 years you update it, every 20 years you rewrite it. And so we're at our 20-year period.
And what happens if we don't?
Well, that's a legal question for Mr. Popovich.
There really is nothing that happens. There are no penalties for not complying with that.
so that is true.
But, is there a but?
Well, there's a yet. Yet.
Yet.
Well, I mean, if we want to continue to have a vision.
I
and
understand. I'm not saying it's not
need
important.
And policies to help us in making decisions as a board and especially as a planning commission.
Sure.
We need that document and we need citizen input. Now, that being said, that's probably more than a year process. So I would suggest you do that over multiple years, right? And drop that down to, whatever, 135 in this fiscal year and 135 next fiscal year. Is it important? Absolutely.
Sure.
It is. Do I think it could be split over multiple years or even delayed a year? Probably. But I don't want us to forget about it.
Well, I don't either, but and I'd ask for Mr. Creasy or Mr. Bryant to, or any of us really for that matter. I think the working document that we have now is still working well. Is that a fair assessment?
I think it's updated every 5 years as well.
I would say the wording of the document meets the vision of what you all, I would think, like to see in the citizens. The one thing that is part of that is our flume map or our future land use map, which is horrific, in my opinion. It doesn't follow parcel lines. There's mixed future land use map zoning designations, which makes it difficult for staff to provide to the commission on rezonings. And so that is a major part of that update that staff would like to see done.
If I can expand on that, I would agree with Mr. Creasy. That map was done in 2007 before we had GIS. We were, hold your horses, we were using colored pencils and paper back then, and we overlaid that before we had GIS. So that map is old, outdated, and does need some work.
So are you looking to, what do you want?
I've lost my pen.
So are you suggesting not funding it or?
No,
would you be-
actually, I kind of like your suggestion better. If we can draw this over a multi-year project, then we split that in half.
I would agree with that. Is there any other thoughts on it?
I agree with that, but I've got a follow-up question to you, Chris, Mr. Adams. So what is the, I understand the comprehensive plan update got that. Why does it say Axon body after that?
That's what we were trying to, it's a typo. We just need to
Goes
move
down to
that
the sheriff's
down.
body, but it's supposed to be the sheriff's body
Right,
stuff, right?
it should be under the first blue
Okay,
line.
that was my question. Thank you.
There's a dollar figure there?
Yes, the 274 should be for the Axon body cameras, correct? Sheriff?
Per year. We don't have it on there per year, do we?
No. No, ma'am.
It's supporting documentation that they provided, the
Yeah,
last
yeah, we
one,
saw
that
that
paper
yesterday.
document.
So it's 274,000 per year.
I think it actually went up after year one, didn't it? In the original proposal, it went up after year one. And then the new proposal showed an increase across the board. And the total was about 1.1 million over the course of 5 years.
First one was from 237,680 to 241,18, so about $3,000.
Okay, so, look, we can sit here and debate what's in and out, but
I agree.
I think what we need right now is a dollar amount we'd like to fund the CIP at. And right now, it's somewhere between 0 and 1.5 million, and 4.4 million. So what is your pleasure? 1.5 from Ms. Tucker? Any other thoughts?
Well, I'll say the 1.5 should be a cut line at this point.
Okay,
Yeah, that's what we're saying, that's
Yeah,
what
that's
we're
what I'm
saying.
saying, yeah.
so 1.5 is a cut line. Has anybody got heartache with that? All right, 1.5 is a cut line we're asking you to look at, which is about what you did. Isn't that smart? All right, very good.
Back to position request. So same feedback, please. We'll go over this again if you want, and everybody's here again to answer any questions. My position, of course, the part-time temporary, as stated at the last meeting, I do currently have someone in there that we're using current year funds for. This is simply to put a placeholder in there for next fiscal year so that I can have money in my budget until the treasurer and commissioner of revenue fully get on RDA. IT is requesting 3 positions, circuit court, 1 position, 2 ground maintenance, public works, 2 DSS employees, a maintenance tech, 2 community development employees, 12, 4, 16, 17, 18, 19 public safety positions, and an add-on of duty of the tourism specialist to a current employee and to increase their duties.
This is people that we do not have now.
Correct.
So our budget last year was 60 million.
Correct.
We're already 2.5 in the hole.
Correct.
That 60 million budget funded 1.1 million in CIP. We
Correct.
just said try and do another 400,000. So we're actually about 3 million in the hole now.
Yes.
Okay. 3 million in hole. Okay. And how much would all this cost?
2.8 million for the positions and almost 450,000 for the equipment associated with each approved position.
So about $3.3 million.
Yes, sir.
So roughly 3 million with no new positions. 6.3 million if we add all these positions.
Yes.
Okay, and we haven't even got to raises yet, have we?
The raises are included in that 73
So the
million.
raises are included in the 60 million? No,
In the 73 million.
73 million.
Yes.
Health insurance?
I'm just trying to get,
Yes.
I'm just trying to get us back to the 60. Right? Or no? Do you understand what I'm trying to do?
Are you talking about the tax rate? Getting us back to the,
Well, we had a budget last year based on 60 million of revenue.
yes,
We're projecting 57 million.
yes.
Right. And what I'm trying to say is that just to stay where we were last year, right, with just about the same amount of CIP funding the same amount of positions, we're already 3 million in the hole.
So no, then that $3 million would not include your raises and your health insurance
Correct.
costs. Correct, yes.
So it doesn't include the raise.
No, that would include your CIP and your position request.
So if we did all of these, we would be at 6.3 million, and we've done no raises or health insurance.
Or any O&M increases.
So, to me, I think this needs to be parking lotted for a minute, and we need to talk about the 3% for our staff and the health insurance costs, personally, unless y'all really want to talk about this right now.
I do have a question, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Bryant, last time we spoke, you said you asked for some funding from the town. Have you heard back from them?
No, we have not.
No, sir.
And to be clear, that tourism specialist, that's gonna be in addition to, that's gonna be work additional to, what one employee here is already doing. It's a change in job, so to speak, and it's gonna be additional work for that person.
If it goes through and if it's approved by the board, it was an attempt by us to be more efficient and more effective with our staff. It's not a net new staff. You're correct.
And also what we're spending now, there's a $50,000 that's going towards the Chamber of Commerce that would stop.
Correct.
So that could actually fund this.
Yes, sir.
With savings.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, Tom, I tend to agree. I think it's my job on the Board of Supervisors to look at the employees we currently have, ways to get them a decent cost of living raise, as well as tackling the issue with the insurance. Because I think we have to our hand is forced on the 14.4% for the insurance. And, you know, the social services, Social Security, I don't know if it's 2.7% this year. You know, pretty much everywhere is given around a 3% close to it as a increase, just to keep up with the cost of living. So I agree with going and looking at that now.
Well, I think it's important to add, Mr. Pugh, that the state's already approved their increase. Is that correct? Or is it?
No.
Or is it proposed?
The last document I saw proposed 2% raise and a 2% bonus, but I think that has changed from conversations that we've had this week. I think that's now gone up to a 3% raise.
Okay.
So,
Well, I guess I was speaking on hypotheticals. If that comes to fruition, it's going to kind of back us in the corner for the state-funded positions that we have in the different offices and social services. Then we'll have to deal with the employees that are not, much like we did last year. So,
Yeah, well, usually they'll put out a 3% bonus, and we have to come up with 1.5%
yeah.
of that for whether it's school teachers or whether it's constitutionals. We have to come up with that, I believe, additional 1.5%. We have in the past.
And this is probably sacrilege, if the state gives them 1.5 and we give everybody a 3, then technically everybody's getting more. See what I'm saying? The state just paid for 1.5% of it.
Yeah.
True.
But, all right, so guys, what I am saying is right now, without doing any of these positions, we are $3 million in the hole. We have not done any raises or insurance costs. So to me, before we even talk about new positions, we need to discuss what we want to do about insurance, which is a given,
That's right.
and raises, which is not necessarily a given, but I feel pretty strongly
Yeah,
about
me
it.
too.
So can we go talk about raises and insurance, please?
Mr. Martin, I tend my philosophy is that we take care of the people we got. And by taking care of the people that we've got, I believe in that 3% raise.
Well, I agree, and guys, look, all I'm trying to do is facilitate a discussion, because this is a very difficult conversation for everybody to have.
Yeah.
But we gotta have it, and I'm just trying to get us through it.
And you're doing a good job.
Unless you wanna stay till midnight.
No.
No, you're doing a fabulous job.
All right,
so the figures in this slide, unfortunately, are for all positions, including the request. I would have to get back with you on the numbers if we took the position request out to give you a true total on what the 3% raise would be.
So a 3%, that would include the 33 new?
Correct.
Yeah, I would like that.
Okay.
I would like that number.
Okay.
I would like that number too.
And also, if you could, I think in the beginning you said that there was a correction made to expenses.
Yes, I found an error in my link into my spreadsheets. So the 72.9 is now more like 73.4.
Okay, but just for sake of discussion, board members, can we use the 549 number? Even though we know it's high, can we just use that as kind of like a placeholder? So if we use that as a placeholder, we'll call it 550,000. We're at 3.55 million for raises, the CIP, and less revenue. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, let's talk about health insurance. You're saying it's gonna cost 14.7% more?
Yes. 14.4.
Which is a lot. For another,
And once again, that will include the 33 new positions as well. And I
think we
don't
asked
know
this-
if this will help. If I came up with a number on a different spreadsheet, if we were to give all current employees a 3% raise, all current employees the 14.4% health insurance increase, if we did not fund any CIP request, if we had, for the most part, a level O&M budget with just the basics that need to be increased, like service cost and contracts increased, we would be looking at $61,400,000. That's what would get you a level funding budget, except for the 3% increase on current employees and the health insurance increase on current employees, and a $180,000 increase to the jail contribution.
There you go.
well, you are extremely smart, which is why you're here. But that just went right over my head. So, can you repeat that?
61,400,000
61.4 million.
would get you a 3% increase on current employees, the health insurance increase on current employees. That does include the $180,000 increase contribution to the jail that we have to do. And that includes just basic increases in the O&M, like the service costs or contract increases. It does not include the bigger request or any capital improvements.
All right. Can I muddy the water for just a second?
Please do.
So the 3% is based on every county employee?
Correct.
Whether they're, what I'm getting at is the ones that are state funded. So whether it's the sheriff's office, treasurer, commissioner, any of those. So that number would be carrying the burden that we would be
Correct,
carrying the burden.
correct,
So if the
correct.
state decides to throw monies in there, then that's going to create a return to us
Correct.
for less of a burden.
Correct.
Okay. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right, thank you for that. But, all right. So, we were at 3 million in the hole, 550,000 for a 3% raise, right? And then how much was the insurance? Just a round number?
425.
But that included everybody?
Yes.
So, just for guesstimating, can we use that number?
Sure.
And know it's lower?
That's the worst case scenario.
Insurance.
Well, That's with the 33 employees.
That's
what I'm saying.
right,
That's
so
a
we
worst
know
case
it's
scenario.
lower, but just,
But the number she had, 61.4, and then you add the 1.5 for the capital, will get you the literal bare bones.
so with the, with the budget shortfall, the 3% raise, the insurance increase, and a 1.5 million CIP, we're roughly at 3.975 million in the hole. Right?
Yes, sir.
Don't just agree with me. I mean, tell me, yo, you're way off. But I'm just trying to be logical about it, so that makes sense. All right. So then, that's kind of like bare necessities, to me anyway. So then we go to the operating and maintenance. So
Yes.
how much is that? And that's no new positions, just the O&M budget. How much in the hole are we there than
I honestly cannot give you a figure on that because everything that I have come up with either includes the 33 new positions or it does not. So I'm not real sure what that total would be without the raises and without the positions. But if you back out if you take the 73 and you back out the 425, the 550, the 4 million for the CIPs, what else did we talk about?
We talk about the insurance, the raise, the additional 0.4 for the CIP, and then the the revenue reduction is how I got to 3.9.
But if you take the 73 million and back out 4, you're looking at 69. Then you back out the 425 and the 550 for the insurance and the raises. That's another million. You're looking at 68. So you're looking at probably 8 million in O&M increases. Some of that O&M does include equipment. So you've got in public safety, you got the fire trucks, you got the brush trucks, you got sheriff cars.
A
So
medic unit.
yes. So some of those O&Ms is recurring items that includes. So that's why it seems like a lot.
Yeah, but we still have to fund it year after year.
Yes.
Okay, board, or can we go to the position discussion real quick? Does anybody think we can fund 33 new positions?
No.
No.
Okay. Does anybody think we can fund any positions?
Yes.
Which would that be?
In my mind, finance has got to be funded, got to be. And in my mind, tourism should be funded because it's a saving and it's showing efficiency.
Yeah, that's a wash with savings.
Yeah.
And if we
So-
get the $20,000 from the town, we'd actually be saving on both of those positions.
All right, so is everybody in agreement that finance and tourism we're okay with that?
I agree.
Okay.
And again, these are high costs. These are not actual numbers. You gave them to us high.
So, yes, so the salary and benefits include if the employee came in and took the highest cost insurance plan we had. So, I mean, we've got a low-cost insurance plan for employee only that's running maybe $8,000 a month, and then the highest is $21,000 a month. So all of them are budgeted at the $21,000 a month.
So these numbers we're looking at could considerably drop.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Any other must-haves?
You know, Mr. Chairman, I've heard you speak at a different meeting, and your comment was, we need to take care of what we have. And I agree with that. And I think we'd be doing this by giving the raises and covering the health insurance. I know you was talking about the plumbing of Amherst, but we have a few more things we have to take care of here.
Well, I mean, honestly, what I'm struggling with, are we gonna be able to fund any of them? Because I think what you told us last meeting was if we funded everything that was submitted, we'd have to raise the tax rate to what,
76.5
76.5
for
cents
full requested budget.
on the reassessed value.
Yes,
And that's not happening, right?
yes, sir.
So I know everybody submitted, that is not happening.
Yeah, I mean, if you look, even if you raised it to 55 cent, it's a 40% increase on each and every one's real estate assessment. And I can't sit here and say I want to do that. I mean, I don't think we can fund any of these. I guess tourism would be something you could do because it'd be a wash, and if you had the money to finance, but I'm not prepared to vote on adding any other of these positions.
Well, may I bring one thing up?
Sure.
One of the things that Chief Beam brought to our attention was that there is some 911 recurring funds that could be enough to either pay for a dispatcher position or use it to supplement a combination of some of the positions that could support public safety. So I just wanted to bring that up. There is some recurring non-general fund money that we could use as part of the 911 funds that again is not part of the general fund, the unobligated general fund. Chief Beam, is there anything I've left off that's important that you want to bring to the board's attention?
Thank you, Mr. Bryant. There is the 911 tax fund that comes in based off a cell phone that is reoccurring. Right now, we're funding 2 dispatch positions with that. We also have a pot of money there that will be coming back to you. That's the CAD system we've talked about in the past to fund that out. So it wouldn't come out of the general fund. We'd ask to use that CAD system. Obviously, it's what you think. It's everything that our dispatcher using, but also everything that the sheriff's department's using for the records management and so forth. The one dispatch position that it would pay for out of that 911 tax fund, and speaking to our staff, is critically important to them. We get a lot of protective orders and so forth through the sheriff's department. Every day the courts bring those over, and our dispatchers have to enter all those. They have to enter all the warrants. They're entering all of the protective orders. We get audited through the state police on that. Prior to my coming and Sheriff Ayers coming back in, we had a pretty negative audit from that. We've done really well since then, but the protective orders and stuff continue to go up, and I'm sure the sheriff or the major could speak to that. And so our dispatchers are having to key those in, and then they have to skip off and answer a radio over here. So that extra dispatch position could really help take care of the warrants and the protective orders that they're entering. And it, again, would be budget neutral as far as the general fund, because it could come out of that 911 tax fund, and we would be completely fine with that. I hope I answered that question.
I've got a question for the chief. So Chief, if you don't get any of these positions that you requested, you don't get any, will you still be able to serve the citizens of Amherst?
We're going to serve the citizens of Amherst 100%. We're going to give them 100% of what we have. You know, I'll be honest, there are going to be times that we're going to have service delivery interruptions. Sunday morning, I can speak to that. We were in Peddler on a structure fire, and we ended up with overwhelming the system of medical calls. We had to call Lynchburg to come to one, and then we were delayed on another one for ambulance coming from the hospital. But our staff's doing everything they can do. You know, our call volume continues to go up 6% last year. So those are the things that we worry about. We know you have a tough job, and we know this is a tough budget year. We will continue to give it everything that we have, but you know, there could be delays in response. I'll be completely transparent, but we're going to continue to give it everything we have.
And then I'm asking, look in your crystal ball, will those delays in response be the chance higher in certain areas of the county than other areas of the county?
Well, so what happens, that's a great question, Ms. Tucker. We end up with this shift going on. We have 2 ambulances in Madison Heights. If we get a third call in Madison Heights, we have to shift the Amherst truck down there. And then the peddler truck comes central. Then we get a call, maybe another one in Madison Heights or another one here in the town of Amherst. So it's just this shuffle that happens where we're constantly moving around. So again, those are, I don't know there's a particular area in the county. There's certain geographical areas in the county, as you well know. Our goal is 13 minutes or less for response. We were able to, since we added the 4th truck, we've increased that or reduced the amount of time that's taken over 13 minutes by about 13%. So we made great strides in that. But there are geographical areas in the county, it's always going to take longer. But where we don't want to see that over 13-minute time is here in the town or in Madison Heights, where we know geographically if a truck was in the station, we could have gotten there quicker. I hope that answered that question. Anything else?
Any other questions for Chief Dean?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
So just to be clear, there is enough money in the 911 fund to fund a position?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Dispatch.
Yes, sir. To fund
a dispatcher.
a entry-level dispatcher. Yes, sir, it is. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So are we okay with the 1 dispatcher position?
I think that falls in the same category with tourism. It sounds like it's gonna take care of itself. Everybody in agreement with that?
Yep.
Okay. Good, we're getting somewhere.
On that note, and this may be a topic for sheriff and for chief, I know we've discussed in the past the comp board funding for some dispatch positions that we've had in the past, and then we lost that for, I'm not gonna get into the weeds as far as why. But is there a process that may prove us to be more successful in that in the future?
That was requested that again, Mr. Allen.
And I heard we got denied, right?
And it was, they've given no increases anyway, none.
Okay, so it's across the board, I mean, it's just, okay, all right.
Okay. Any other positions? Right now, we're at finance, tourism, and 1 dispatcher.
Mr. Chairman, there was, and excuse me because I can't remember the details, but there was some conversation about a strong need at Manelison, but I don't remember what that was about. For 1 person.
Well, I believe that is the fire department 4 positions.
There's actually 4 positions.
There's actually 4 because they wanted to put, the thought was to put an additional person at Amherst Fire during the day and 2 at Manelison during the day. And that would leave 1 kind of in limbo if somebody had to call out or whatever. That's my understanding. Is that correct, Chief?
The proposed plan, Chief, was 10.5-hour days, so each person will work 4 days a week, which would give it a little bit longer time than a traditional 8-hour day. So 5 people rotating through could cover all 4 of those positions, with each person working 4 10.5-hour days. Yes.
Okay. Thoughts?
Well, I'm gonna throw this out there since Ms. Tucker brought it up, and I think you had some ideas on this in some previous discussions. Is it worth us evaluating 1, and I cringe at even saying this, but taking 1 position and putting it in Manelson Day like we're doing 1 position at Amherst Fire during the day to assist with,
Did they request that, Chief?
you may as well stay up here,
Because
Brian.
Lord knows the hoopla they went through when they added it at Amherst, but.
Yeah, that was not mentioned, Chief. It was just the discussion of the 2 people per department to kind of help during the day. we didn't have a discussion about one person during the day. I mean,
Did
just,
they request help during the day?
yeah, they did send a letter saying that they supported the two people during the day. Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yes, sir.
So right now, there's one in Amherst, that would put one in Manalapan.
Just bringing it up for discussion.
Is there a consensus to add that in, one person? Or 4 people? What's your pleasure? Well, no.
What did you say, Ms. Tucker?
I thought he said 4 people.
No, I said one or 4. I'm trying to get y'all,
Okay.
or none. I'm just, you were gonna say something, Mr. Campbell?
I wasn't, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, okay. Would you like to say something?
At this moment, I mean, I'm good with the 3 that we have. I mean, 3 positions that we talked about.
Just the
Just the
finance, tourism, and one dispatcher? That's where you're at? Okay.
I'm gonna look to my fellow, you two. I mean, this is y'all's bailiwick. You're gonna do healthcare, talk to me, but what do y'all think?
I think this is a discussion that we probably, this is not an easy and short discussion, because there are multiple factors that play into these decisions. A lot that Chief Beam have already addressed. We appreciate the volunteers for everything they do, and we could not survive on a daily basis without them. That goes without saying, but I feel like we have to continue to acknowledge that. However, with that being said, the amount of volunteers that are coming and continuing to sign up with the Amherst Fire Department, Peddler is that's a whole, I mean, the dynamics in Peddler where I live at, it's an aging, not a lot of young people are moving into Peddler that has the interest to join the fire department. And Manalapan is seeing the same struggles. This is gonna continue to be, this problem is gonna continue to compound itself year after year. And as you heard from Chief Beam, our call volume is not decreasing. It's not even remaining flat each year. We're seeing 6 to 8% on an annual basis. At some point in time, we're gonna have to pay the piper. The rubber's gonna meet the road. So,
I would say the one position at Amherst has been very beneficial to Amherst Fire Department during the day because, and that position was there before I ever became the chief, right? We have survived by getting young students out of the high school, and a lot of them are in early college, but they cannot drive a fire apparatus, right? So but they're also typically available more during the day than people that have to go to work. So having that one person there that can drive and actually get the truck out has been very beneficial. I'm sure that would probably help Manalapan also. So 4 positions and however many million we're up to now.
Right.
No, but 1, yes, it's worth considering.
Then I'll go with 1.
So what is 1 position, chief? It's not 377,000, it's $94,252.
94,250.
And that's
And
with
then how much
benefit
in-
insurance.
Yes, that's with, and the full insurance, and then what would that take the equipment to with just one position? Is
We could
is that broke down
We could
evenly?
we could absorb that.
Yeah,
Just for nice round numbers, let's call it 100K.
okay.
All right, any others on there? So right now look, guys, we may or may not end up with this, but what we have right now is finance, tourism, 1 dispatcher, 1 firefighter. Anything else we have to have? Well, yeah, you're right about that.
well, I'm just gonna go on out there. I think we need to forego anything else until we have better information.
Okay,
That's just my opinion.
I got you.
Can I ask a question? The code dispatch, code enforcement, not getting that, well, how much is that gonna hamper us being able to take care of our blight?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Right now, the sheriff's department handles our code enforcement. We were attempting to basically go from one person with the sheriff's department and keep that person in the sheriff's department and add one in community development. So whatever the workload is right now, we were trying to double it to do more code enforcement. I don't know how to completely answer your question, but I'm just letting you know the structure of how it's set up at the moment. And that person in the sheriff's department, they do inoperative vehicles, they help with derelict structures, they help with grass, weeds, trash, those kind of things.
So obviously it'll impact it, but we're back down to food, water, and shelter.
Yes. Yes,
I
ma'am.
guess that comes in those three categories.
So what are those four positions? 100,000, 132,000, the dispatcher?
Well, I don't know. If you really look at the tourism, your finance, and then the dispatcher, it's almost expense neutral.
Again, it'll be a lower number too.
Yeah.
Well, it will, just nice round numbers. So the tourism offset, so that's really not included.
Tourism offsets, and whatever
The
we offset from that
dispatcher
will pay
offsets.
for your finance director almost part-time, and then your dispatcher's coming out of 911 funds.
So we're really at 100,000 for the firefighter?
Yeah, that's it, really.
All right, so if, are you with our logic or lack of? So we were.
All right, so if we had just did the 3% raises and the health insurance costs from that 61.4 number that I gave you a little bit ago, if we take that 61.4 and then add back in 100,000 for the firefighter, and then that was it, right?
We should be at 4 million.
Plus 1.5 for the CIP, correct? You're looking at 63 million. But that does not include, that would include equal funding to the school. That number does not include the fire trucks or the brush trucks or the ambulances or anything. So if you were to break even with just the 3% raise and the health insurance at 61.4, add back in your firefighter at 100,000, and then add back in 1.5 for your approved CIP, that gets you to 63 million.
Can you scroll up, Tracy, to one of those other slides that, because there's some other stuff in there that I thought you said we were gonna have to fund. I wanna make sure that those numbers are in there.
So in the
Right
61.4,
next, right there.
this, the
Yes.
61.4 does include this because we have to fund that.
Okay,
The 61.4 did not include the 1.6 to school. That was with equal funding the school. It does include this because we have to do that. This was taken away. We're going to do level funding with that with some decrease in service bus. And this basically goes away with the position.
So you're saying that those numbers don't include the vehicles for the sheriff, the vehicles for public safety?
This number right here that we're referring to now, it does not.
All right, so,
Well, I'm sorry, let me take that back. It would include 5 cars for the sheriff because that's what he was approved for this year. So he would get 5 cars next year, but it does not include the fire truck or the 2 brush trucks. And the sheriff did request 2 additional cars, so that would be taken out the equation.
okay, so what would it take us to get? Put my glasses back on. Level, all right, so just maintaining what we have right now, right? Because there's a cost to that. And then adding the 3% raise, adding the insurance, all right? 1.5 million in CIP expenses. And then the 4 positions,
So since we're revenue neutral on the tourism and the dispatcher, I didn't add those in.
2 positions.
Yeah.
which
That
are-
gets us to 63 million.
Actually 4. Okay, actually 4. Gets us to 63 million.
Yes.
so to add in the fire apparatus for the multiple departments is 500K, right?
That included both. That was a lease payment for the brush trucks and the fire truck, correct? The 500,000? So yes.
So what are these other big ticket items? The sheriff, 1.5 million.
Oh, that was his increase, just on the O&M.
What did that include?
That included two for the sheriff? We talking about the sheriff or Brett?
Right there where it says the department, large increases.
A lot of that would include the increase in salaries and health insurance. And then he was requesting 2 additional cars. And Sheriff, do you want to speak on what else you were requesting?
But I mean, when you said 63 million included 3%
Yes.
raise and
Yes.
14, does that include the sheriff?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So it's less than 1.5 million?
What, the CIP?
No, the sheriff.
Oh, yes, yes. So those big increases do include the 3% raise and any new positions, which the sheriff does not have, and health insurance cost.
All right, all right, we're doing good, I think, all right.
Relative to?
What I've seen before. Let's just start at EMS. EMS, in their operating budget, does that include the monitors? Or the monitors and all that other equipment in that?
But that was in the CIP. So no, that increase does not include the monitors and everything, right?
No,
Yeah, that's-
I think it was that staffing we had requested.
Correct.
Okay, but,
And the fire truck.
Yep, the fire truck, yep.
Those are just
So
big
these,
picture-
this
they're
is
big
just
picture
summary.
num-
This
they're
is
big
just
picture
summary
numbers.
information.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
Yeah.
these numbers have been captured somewhere else that we've already discussed.
yes.
well, what I'm getting at too, though, is you said 63 million didn't include the fire apparatus, right? I
That
want
was
to,
me taking that out there, but.
well, I want to know what else it doesn't include that may be very important to us, like 5 sheriff vehicles.
It does include 5 because that's what they got this
How
year.
many
So
does he need?
He requested 7.
7 more.
No, 7
7
total.
So he needs 2 more.
Yes. But the 63
right?
does not include the 2 more.
Okay, so we're at 60. Forward. All right, so we're at 63.5 million?
Yes.
63.5 million. I'm gonna frame these note papers. 63.5. How much does 2 vehicles?
He budgeted 75 apiece, so 150.
150,000. So that's 63 point,
365.
fire apparatus is 500. So you're at,
Well, I'd already had that in there.
just told me.
No,
about it.
we're adding back in.
All right,
I've already added that back into that 6365.
all right, we have to understand, what I'm trying to get us to, if it makes sense, is the things that we absolutely would like to see. Because before we leave out of here, we've got to advertise a tax rate, right?
Yes.
So if there's things that are like, you know, that we absolutely would like to see, we have to understand what that tax rate's gonna be. And it might come down from there because we might get to the point where we're like, well, you know, we'd like to have it, but we really can't fund it. But we kinda need to know what that total number is.
I'll say a few things.
Please do.
Okay. And y'all have already said it, I just want to be clear, these numbers do not yet reflect the school's request. A few of us are meeting with the schools tomorrow night. We should have a better understanding of what their request is. So I want to be clear on that. These numbers don't include the schools. We have heard anywhere between 1.6 and over 2 million. I don't know that exact number. Again, should know more tomorrow night on that request. There are other things in the operating budget. I'll pick on Ms. Vire because she's sat in the front row. But there's some contractual obligations that we are required to fulfill that are in the O&M budget that will push the O&M budget up some. We can minimize some things and we can cut some things, but there will be some contractual obligations that we will be responsible for that are in her budget and that are in her request. We've met with her multiple times over this. There's some things we can trim, and there's some things we just cannot because of contractual obligations.
All right, let's try it this way. The O&M budget proposed, right? 3% raise, 14.7% health insurance, 1.5 million in, CIP. The 2 or 4 positions, whatever you want to call it, those positions. And let's just, for debate budget purposes, say 2 million for schools. What is that total?
Oh, God, I would have to come back to you with that.
We can take 5 minutes. Well, how much is the proposed operating budget today?
I don't know the real total because it included all new positions. Yeah, so that's my problem, and that all the operating budgets right now included the new positions. So I'd have to back out all the new positions to give you a good increase in the O&M budget.
So I think we're gonna need that information. Because, I mean, I think all 5 of us have agreed upon the positions that we have, right?
So far.
How much was it last year?
The CIP request,
The
O&M.
O&M.
everything together was the 60 million. So, and then we only did the 1.1 in capital improvements, so maybe what, 58.9?
But that didn't include, so that included funding everybody that's here. Everybody stays and works for Amherst.
And they got a 3% raise last year.
Okay, and they'll get a 3% raise
Yes.
this year, and we'll cover the increase in health insurance, which I'm not done with that because people hate the health insurance, all right? Okay, but those additional things, like, that's where I was trying to get, the fire apparatus and whatever else there was in the O&M budget above and beyond last year's, because we got to get to that number, right? Because I think I hear, but I haven't heard anybody say we shouldn't fund the sheriff's 2 extra vehicles. I haven't heard anybody say we shouldn't fund the fire apparatus. What else was built into the O&M? There was some stuff for the IT stuff,
Yes.
right? So how much does that cost? We've got to know that. We need to know what the O&M budget is without 33 positions.
Okay,
Know what it is with 29 positions.
okay.
2 sheriff vehicles, 4 fire apparatus. Y'all following me?
Mr. Chairman, I have a few things.
Okay, go ahead.
They were talking about code enforcement earlier. In a prior meeting, I think Mr. Adams brought up something about a beautification fund. I think at the time, the former finance director said it was like $85,000 in that fund, and so every year, I think the board puts more money into it, I mean, as far as code enforcement, shouldn't we clean up our properties before we beautify them? Couldn't we use that towards the code enforcement?
We put, the board approved years ago $15,000 a year for the Route 29 Beautification Committee. That money does roll over every year. They've expended a lot of it. I think, Mr. Creasy, correct me if I'm wrong, in the 40s. Is that about right, what you have left over? So there is money that is set aside just for the Beautification Committee. That was to plant trees, mulch it, we clean up trash, we put banners out there, we do a mini grant program that has been really pretty successful. So that's what that money's for, and the Beautification Committee uses that to help enhance our corridor. That being said, there is, Mr. Young, Nate Young put in that we have historically had 20,000 to tear down derelict houses. He was attempting to build more into that, 100,000, so he could tear more houses down. Tracy and I've already trimmed that some. And so that's kind of some of the stuff that we've been working on internally as staff, is trying to figure out what to do with things like that in the operating budget.
And the other thing is, in our service authority meeting, Mr. Martin, I believe, they were talking about the increase. I think they had a 7% increase, and I see this one is 14. Why is it so different? If,
Claims.
So they are a much smaller group, but also their rates are still higher. So what they pay for the total premium is actually a little bit higher than what we pay. So but they've also been with the local choice for an extended period of time. So we've only been with them for a year. Well, not quite a year yet. So.
Good question. Is there any, I don't know if I want to bring, any cost savings if, like, we brought schools on board with us?
So we are exploring joining the schools with the self-insurance.
Us joining self-insurance? Nah,
I'll never go for that. Not what I know now.
Yeah, it's expensive just to get it started.
Yeah, not
how about the other way?
Just by ourselves.
Oh, the
To have
schools
them
joining
join-
us. yeah.
So that's
'Cause
something
we're
we
still
haven't
paying for
explored
that,
yet.
right?
Huh?
We still pay for it.
For what?
I mean, we
Well,
give
yeah,
them.
I mean, you can massage that if you want to.
Okay.
Yeah, we're paying for it.
Don't mind us, just.
Okay.
So, this doesn't have anything to do with insurance, but there's a $500,000 contingency fund built into the budget. Where does that stand as far as, the numbers that we're throwing around right now? Is that still built into the budget?
The original cut budget, no, that does not include the $500,000 contingency, no.
Okay.
I thought we reduced it to 250. Is that included?
Well, the 61,400,000 number that I gave you, that was just with the raises and health insurance, does not include the $500,000 contingency.
Okay, so it is 20 minutes to 6. What you absolutely need from us before we leave out of here is what to advertise the tax rate at.
Yes, sir.
Right? So we know what the equalized rate is. It's what?
39
39.
cents.
39 cents. Right?
Each penny gets you 420.
She's got a chart she just pulled up to show.
And we know, everybody can throw rocks or whatever, but we know that 39% will not even fund what we did last year. Is that correct?
Correct.
Does everybody understand what I just said? 39 cent will not even fund last year's budget. There's no, I mean, it is what it is, because revenue sources and other places went down.
Correct.
So if we were to go to 39 cent, we would be more likely cutting service and laying people off. Is anybody willing to do that?
or pulling more out of our general fund.
Which I definitely don't want to do.
I'm not willing to do that.
I don't know that we have the money to do that.
It's not sustainable. I mean, it looks like we did it last year.
We did it last year, we can't keep doing
Not
that.
sustainable.
If
Right.
anything, we need to be putting back what we've taken out.
So 39 cent is the equalized rate, and somewhere in the advertisement, we have to advertise that, right?
Correct.
This is why you're here, Popovich, Mr. Popovich. So what are the legal requirements?
The legal requirements is that you're going to have to set out a public notice indicating what the tax rate is going to be, or at least what it is advertised for. Localities, local governing bodies have the ability to come down off of an advertised number that is published, but you can't go above a number. So what you want to keep in mind is if you suggest that we advertise a tax rate at a number that number be at least as much as you think you really are gonna need for the year. Because once that public notice is advertised, the only way that you could get it to go higher than that advertised notice is to re-advertise and have another public hearing. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that whatever we put in the notice now will cover at least an amount that you believe you're going to land on. It doesn't have to be the exact number. It doesn't have to be the number that you definitively say here today, that's what the tax rate's going to be, because no, it doesn't have to be that. It can be lower than that number.
What I thought, okay, so where 39 cent brings in $57,746,000, which is not enough to even cover the budget from last year. That's how we got into the 3 million discussion, right?
Correct.
Left it at 61, that would bring in 66 million, roughly $67 million, which is that would fund all those things, right?
That we've been discussing tonight, yes, sir.
Why do they back us in the hole so quick in the process? Why's it gotta be advertised so quick?
That's a great question. One of the reasons state law says that you can't advertise, you can't have your public hearing budget the same night as the tax rate. And so we've laid out a budget calendar that separates the two. And so this is a bit of an anomaly that it happens every 6 years for us when we reassess. We haven't been used to this in the last 6 years because of that, but because we're having to go through the reassessment process, it puts us in a tighter situation this year.
I mean, because we've discussed a lot today, but we haven't got down into the nitty gritty of it.
Right.
Right, but we're having to pretty much advertise what the worst case scenario is gonna be. And
Yes,
if
sir.
we advertise it at 61 cent, everybody's gonna blow up and say, you didn't do what you said you're gonna do. Well, we haven't had a chance to do it yet, but, so what's your pleasure, board?
Well, that's what I was gonna say, Mr. Martin, is, but again, I think it's important to go on record where, which, again, there are gonna be people that are not gonna pay attention to what we're saying, but from a safety standpoint, based on what Mr. Popovich just gave us, the safest thing to do is advertise at 61 cent, because we know that we're not going any higher than that. Me personally saying, I'm not gonna support 61 cent when a 61 cent tax rate, but we know we can come down.
I agree with kind of what you just said. I just got to tell you personally, I don't feel like I have enough information at this point in time to make a good decision. So therefore, to give us a little bit, and call it wiggle room, call it whatever, I would like to see the 61%, quite frankly, so then we can back down off of it. And what we do, we know we have done with the best information we could possibly get.
Well, what's the number you have right now? You've put in 2 million for the schools, you've put in,
Yeah, but she cannot, when I asked her to come back with the O&M budget without those 33 positions in it,
okay.
that's gonna take her time to do.
And that's gonna change that number pretty
Gonna change
substantially.
it, I would
Yeah,
hope.
I mean, I would,
So-
I mean, I don't want nothing, I would like to see it more down, a lot lower than that.
Well, I mean, and I think we all would.
Yeah,
But
but-
for the purpose of tonight,
Oh, understood.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, we can easily explain why we did what we did, and it's, I mean, that's real, right? I mean, we're sitting here, everybody that's in the YouTube world, that's real information. But I think after Ms. Morgan and Mr. Bryant come back to us, I mean,
Well, what is that, a 20, what is that, 30? 22 cent? or whatever it is
Yeah,
increase.
it's 20, yeah, from 39 to 61.
Yeah, I think one year I was on this board and we did a 25-cent increase. A proposed.
Oh,
No, it was what they did is they said, well, you know, this is what everybody wants. We're gonna propose the max. And we had to, open up the auditorium because it was filled with so many people. So I would prepare yourselves for something similar.
We'll probably need the sheriff's, steel body, the armored car to get us there,
I mean,
in
if
a
you-
way.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanna do 61, I mean, if you do 61 or 59 or whatever it is, it's still gonna be a packed house.
well, and the other thing, one of the gentlemen brought up during citizen comment, it might have been Mr. Marks, I'm not sure, but even at 39 cent, their taxes went up. Right? And that's just the way it averages out. Some people's might go down, some of people's are gonna go up. We can't control that, right? It's just how it goes across. So where I'm at is obviously, I think everyone knows I don't want to keep it at 61 cent, but I think we're forced into advertising it to give us enough time to continue our discussions on what we need to fund, right? Just to keep service where it is, fund the necessities, right? And in order to do that and to have that time, I think it needs to be advertised at 61 cent with the understanding that it's gonna come down from there. And what I would like to request from staff is to come back with those numbers of the operating budget without the 33 positions in it.
Without all of them, or just include the one?
Without 33 minus 4.
Okay, yeah.
So, sorry, guys. Everybody that wanted 29 positions, I don't know what to tell you, but we don't have the funding for it. Does anybody disagree with that?
Disagree with what, Mr. Chairman?
That we don't have the money to fund 29 positions?
Totally agree.
All right, is that clear enough? So do you need a motion for 61 cent?
Yes, sir.
Is there a motion?
Determine rate?
That's just the rate we're advertising. That, it won't stay at that. We can come down from that, can't go above it.
Is
Mr.
that
Chairman,
what
I'll
you're
make,
asking, Mr. Campbell?
What's that?
Is that what you were asking?
I was asking, is that the motion?
Oh, for-
that-
okay.
For that advertised rate, 61?
I was asking to see if there was any more discussion on it, and if there is a motion to that effect.
So the board set on 61.
Well, I mean, what would you propose below that?
I can propose.
I know,
it
but you
mighty
could propose.
low.
Go low. I mean, realistically, I don't think, at least what I'm hearing is I don't think we have the information we know what the tax rate absolutely needs to be.
What would the deadline be to do this?
For,
For advertising for the tax rate?
we need to know that tonight, so we can advertise. We have to advertise in the paper 2 different times, so we can put it in for a public hearing. The public hearing has to be a different night than the budget public hearing. Again, the deadline's different than what we're used to because of the fact that it's a reassessment year.
So that's why, because
Yes,
it's a
sir.
reassessment year.
Yes, sir.
And again, I understand nobody wants to set it at 61 and leave it there. All right. Yet, without advertising it at that, if we advertise it at 39 cent, that's 39 cent, period.
Yeah, we're done.
And where I tried to get us to unsuccessfully was what the tax rate actually needed to be to fund the things that we were talking about. But because she needs to back out all of those positions from the O&M budget, we can't get there right now. We're just speculating.
And that number you were speculating was what?
Well, I don't know what it is. I mean, it was, we need to know what the O&M total would be without the 29 positions, right? With the CIP with the 3% raise, with the health insurance cost. We suggested a 2 million increase for schools, right? Suggested. And what was it, the 4 positions, right? So all those things is gonna equal a tax rate. Now,
And the 2 sheriff cars and
And
the,
the 2
and the
sheriff-
truck and the brush trucks, the
yeah,
fire truck and
those
brush truck.
things. And all I was saying is bring the O and M back without 29 positions in it. Leave everything else in there so that we can talk about it. All right, but we need to know what that number is.
Oh, I'm just wondering if you suggest 2 million for the schools, then do they think that they have all, that's what they're gonna do?
So I get what you're saying is if we suggest 2 million for the schools, do they think they're getting 2 million for the schools? I don't know, but for budgeting purposes, we need to think about it. I mean, we might decide and come back and say, no, we can't do that. And the reason I was suggesting that is because I was trying to get to what the tax rate needed to be. And I don't think we can get there tonight.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
I really appreciate the effort that you have put into this. I do. And I sit here and I look at the board members and then I compare us against other people in localities and stuff. I mean, it's done with, we operate with diplomacy, professionalism, and courtesy. And we use the manners our mamas taught us. So I don't think that we're going to get anywhere else tonight with the information that we currently have. And I'm willing to make a motion that we set the tax rate, knowing that no one here on this board expects it to stay that way, at 61 cents.
Motion on the floor by Ms. Tucker. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of advertising at 61 cents signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I vote aye.
No.
Those opposed?
No,
Is it 1 or 2? Just 1?
that was me.
Okay.
I voted aye.
You voted aye? Okay, motion passes 4-1. Now, before we adjourn, is there anything else we need from our finance director and county administrator to help us in our discussions? Please email them if it is. When's the next time we talk about this?
Have a meeting on what's supposed to be outside agency funding next week on the 17th.
It's before our regular scheduled meeting. It's an earlier meeting before, so it's in 2 weeks.
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all, you're gonna have to turn the air conditioning up in here next time, because I'm about to burn. All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Motion on the floor by Mr. Adams. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I vote aye. We stand adjourned. I know it's hard.
Well, I mean, hell, even if I vote no, we're still gonna have to sit through a 61